Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Deb Collier, the chamber director and the winder woman of the night. So Deb, tell us how you came up with the idea for this, or who came up with the idea for this event.
Actually, it was my board of directors, because I was not at that meeting. So they came up with the idea. Well, we were planning on April 28th. So they then found out that it was Superhero Day, National Superhero Day. So they just went with that and ran with it. And we just haven't been able to honor anybody for a few years now. So we got a number of nominees. So we're
How many total? Oops, I don't have to do that. How many total did you get?
Right now, well, tonight we're going to honor 16.
16.
Yep.
Is it just individuals or?
No, we have 6 businesses as well.
And from what I understand, it's a pretty wide range.
Yes, very diverse group that was nominated. It was wonderful.
And was there any specific criteria, or could people just nominate based upon?
No criteria, except for you should be within our the chamber's region of service.
And are you pleased with the turnout?
Yes, this is wonderful. I think everybody was so hungry for something to do. We haven't had any events for so long. Well, especially indoor events, it seems. Got a lot of calls today. Can I still get a ticket? It's like, yes, come on down.
What is the fund? The funding helps the chamber with other, keep going in other events?
Well, yes. I mean, because during COVID, the chamber wasn't we weren't a part of the PPP program. Our nonprofit designation was, I think, inadvertently left out of the qualifications. So we were really struggling there for a while. So we haven't had any fundraisers because you couldn't gather. We haven't had couldn't get any of the funding for the PPP or Small Business Association loans, and so we're this is going to help the chamber. So
awesome.
We can keep helping businesses in our area.
Awesome. So we know that you have a lot to do tonight, and you have to get back to getting the food out. So thanks a lot. And so I'm here with Kathleen Gavatsky. You are the chamber board of directors chairperson, correct? President, and also I'm getting there, and also the Rotary president. So you, in and of yourself, are a local superhero. But Deb said that it was the board's idea to come up with this. Who was the brainchild behind this whole event?
I don't. The board is such a great board that all works so well off of one another. I don't know. I guess I originally thought, let's not just honor one person. Let's honor a lot of people. We have so many local heroes. And then it may have been Jess who said that it was Superhero Day. So then we just kind of took off with it and had a good time with that.
Awesome. And are you happy with the turnout tonight?
It's great. And we do have such great community support. So many people donated for the auction. Lots of people donated food towards the event. So it's just the spirit of it is great.
It is. And the money is going to help the chamber.
So we would like to, we're so much busier now with people stopping by the Welcome Center because of the charging station. So the charging station is used almost nonstop. So, again, just more community events this year. We're going to be having a comedy show in November, the Flannel Festival, Old Home Days. So, kind of getting getting back to a little sense of normalcy with some of that.
And were you also looking to find like some help for Deb, like a
Yes.
docent, because she gets a lot of tourists asking questions, and it's hard to.
It's really hard to run a welcome center and a chamber with one person. So yes, and I feel like there's a kind of a new spirit of people being willing to volunteer also. Like someone was asking me about that tonight, and I feel like Elijah and Betsy have really kind of brought that community spirit alive by example of just whether they're the only ones that show up or not, they are just there, and people are seeing things getting done. So that's really great.
Well, thank you for you being a community superhero quietly in the background.
Thank you.
And I'll let you get back to the event.
Keep feeding people.
There you go.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
All right, first of all, I'm Charlie Jarris, and I have a beard. And a lot of people say, oh, yeah, I like your beard. You know, one thing about my beard I didn't realize is I have a lot more gray in it than I thought I had. But I think it looks pretty good, I guess. People say they like my gray. I'm here at the Bellows Falls Country Club for the Heroes Awards. And there was, I think, 14 or 15 heroes. There's probably a lot more. And they're volunteers. And, you know, it's wonderful to be able to celebrate the volunteers of our community. And one of the things that I would like to just say is that I've been involved with the Chamber of Commerce now for about 3 years. And one of the biggest problems that they have is getting volunteers. And one of my thoughts is that possibly the Chamber could sponsor an organizer for volunteers, and not a volunteer for the volunteers, actually a part-time paid volunteer. It's something I'm going to bring to the board. I'm not on the board, but I'm going to bring it to the board, and I'm going to ask them whether or not they think it's a good idea. Because the 3 years that I've been on the Chamber, one of the biggest problems is getting volunteers for Rockingham Old Home Days, the Flannel Festival, and things of that sort. And I think a lot of organizations do have trouble. So and plus the high school, John Brody, who's the high school principal up there, said that students have to do, I believe, 60 hours of volunteer work, and it'd be great to be able to have somebody coordinate that. So that's something I'm going to do. But tonight, it's all about the volunteers that have done a whole lot. And one of the people that I recommended was Malcolm Potter, and he's here.
First of all, again, on behalf of the Chamber, thank you all for being here. What a wonderful, wonderful turnout. It is so great to be back in person. I think the last event of any scale in person would have been the Holiday Mixer back in December of 2019, which just seems really, really funny to say, doesn't it? But I think that was it. And so it's great to be back together in person. We've got some great honorees tonight. Certainly, it's not everybody in the community. When, you know, the theme tonight is the superhero theme, and today is National Superhero Day. But as we know from the marketing material and just real life, superheroes are around us. And, you know, being heroic can be what we see on TV and in the movies, but it can also be the things that you're going to hear about tonight. People who persevered personally, persevered with their business through what unprecedented and perhaps some of the more difficult times that we've ever had in this country. So it's fantastic. And being a hero can be as simple as just keep on keeping on. It can be as simple as not smoking if that's your thing, not taking a drink that day if you're not. It can be as simple as staying clean, staying sober. It's so many different things. And the heroes are all around us. So how about a round of applause for everybody in the room and the Chamber who... All right, so the honorees are in no particular order. There's no like 16th place and first place, and they appear to be very randomly sorted. Some of the folks are here, some of the folks are not. So we'll go through these, and I'm going to read only because I want to read what the blurbs that I have are the blurbs that the people who nominated the particular person or business wrote, and so I want to use that language. Now, the problem with that is some people wrote 2 sentences and some people wrote a keynote address. So I'm going to try to expound a little bit on the 2-sentence ones, and I'm going to try to cut down the keynote addresses and hopefully balance this out for everybody. And well, Scott can just do whatever the hell he wants because he's the town manager. So
hand you things as you need.
yeah. So the first honoree tonight is Jennifer Gurley and Rockingham Roasters. That's the coffee shop on the north end of the square, the yellow building. And for those of you that have been around, you know that building has gone from, in just a handful of years, a state of rapid decay. And after significant blood, sweat, and tears, Jennifer has resurrected and beautified that building and taken that business, which operates very, very mission-based. She's committed to living wage. She's committed to providing benefits for her employees, which, as you can imagine, is not universal in the coffee shop industry. So we want to thank and recognize Jennifer Gurley and Rockingham Roasters. So. You're up.
Thank you. So, again, we're in these random orders, so don't draw any conclusions by who follows who, but I'm going to talk now about Malcolm Potter, which is a little bit of a different business than Rockingham Roasters. In a lot of ways, what Malcolm does is part of what makes a community special. And I've worked with Malcolm on things with cemetery maintenance and other issues, and it's always been one of those great questions, right? When we all pass and we wonder what happens 100 years or 200 years from now, and nobody remembers who we are or why we were here or what we were doing.
Just give me a cup of water from her.
Care because he's always keeping track of what the maintenance is, things that are happening, making sure that these places are kept in a respectful and wonderful manner. So sometimes those kinds of community leaders are quiet, they're in the background, but they mean a lot. Because if you think about it, it's that enjoyment of families that come and they want to see a loved one or they want to visit a relative or just check on the history of, we have such wonderful history here. People like Malcolm make that happen and make it reflect positively in our community. So on behalf of the Chamber, Malcolm, thank you so much.
All right, next up is a good friend of mine, David Stern. David currently is connected with the Wild Goose Players, which are renting a spot at the bottom of the stairs just outside the square, kind of diagonal from the Flatiron. Prior to that, David was with Main Street Arts in Saxons River for years as artistic director, and I think at Wild Goose Players he's wearing many, many hats. David is the one responsible for the shows that we've had at the Opera House and in other facilities in the area, and he just does a fantastic job. If you have not seen Into the Woods last weekend, please, I encourage you. There are still tickets available for this weekend. Please get out there. He is also a member of the Rotary Club, and he always stands to help whenever he's asked. We have a painting of his in the silent auction tonight, I believe, over on the other table around the corner here. He's donated paintings to Rotary auctions. He's been at construction projects. He's just an all-around great guy, super, super creative, really good guy that you want to have on your team. And so thank you, David, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. But thank you, David Stern.
This is one of those fun situations. So the next honoree is somebody that I work very closely with, but also technically is my boss, and that's Elijah Zimmer. So Elijah's an elected member of our select board, but he's also a community person in relationship to donating his time, his vision, and his energy to beautification. If you notice around the square, some of the improvements that have happened there didn't happen by happenstance. They happened because people like Elijah created energy and pushed and did a lot of the sweat equity on his own to make some of these improvements that are visible in our downtown, and he has visions for more. So I guess it's a good news situation. We appreciate everything he's done and look forward to everything he's going to continue to contribute in the future. So thank you, Elijah. So the next one, and I don't believe that we have a member here. Anybody from the Bellows Falls Fire Department? Sean, I thought was going to be here, but I don't see him. So I'll say a couple words, and this could apply to any of our emergency services people, any of our public safety people. I would say under stress is a slight description of how they have to function during the pandemic. And these guys have been doing tremendous work in the community. Sean was a driving force. If you've seen the new Memorial Park in our downtown, he was a tremendous leader in that effort. It's a beautiful new addition to our downtown, on top of all the things that he does as a career firefighter. So I think on behalf of the community, we can all say thank you for his energy and his drive, and look forward to Sean continuing to serve our community. So thank you.
All right. Before I get to the next on my list, I want to just add a little something. I was thinking about, I know I wanted to hand this off, Elijah, your nomination to Scott, but I wanted to say just a couple quick things. And I was trying to think of how to put this, and I guess this is going to be a little weird perhaps, but we're in superhero land, so we can kind of make believe. But if I wish we had a cloning machine, and you would be the first person for Bellows Falls that I want to put in that machine. If we had more of you, I can't even imagine what town would look like. So thank you again. Full disclosure, I would clone my dog first so that Marty and I could snuggle with her at the same time. But after that, you're next, I promise. The next honoree is the Flatiron Cooperative. And what a wonderful, wonderful story in general, but a wonderful pandemic story. We've talked about, and we're going to hear more about some businesses that have persevered through the pandemic, but we're going to talk about one that resurrected and rose like a phoenix from the ashes during the pandemic. And so Jana and Bree and Larissa, wow, what an inspiring, just tremendous group you guys have been. The building looks amazing. The art shows, the grilled cheese social, which I had to miss unfortunately, but what just a brilliant, like mind-blowing idea that was. And my God, Thursday mornings it's donut day. And I had to miss it today, but I mean, it's just so lovely. We are very, very grateful, and we're very lucky to have you. And we're lucky to have those cornerstone places at the north and south end of the square. So thank you for everything you do. You all deserve them. All right. Next up is one of the keynote address ones, so I'm going to try to carve it just a little bit. But another business who, like all businesses, had to reinvent themselves over the last 26 months, the Saxtons River Market. And has worked hard to provide a safe, I'm going to read this one because you know what, the heck with it. It's my microphone, we're going to do them the honor they deserve. Worked hard to provide a safe shopping experience following all COVID protocol by providing free gloves and masks, adjusting their hours to avoid clustering, creating a safe cafe clutch space. I'm not going to lie to you, I had to look that one up. I mean, I kind of sort of makes sense, but I wanted to make sure. Bringing groceries to cars, making space for the sale of homemade masks to benefit the fire station. April and her staff kept Saxons River residents and the village alive by keeping the village market up and running throughout the pandemic, including cheerful curbside pickup, especially appreciated by the older customers. April deserves to be recognized now as she leaves the store after many decades in the good hands of Brandy Tucker Krausen, a hardworking and enthusiastic employee and Rockingham resident. And I know that I've seen massive social media exposure now from the market, and Brandy's making some really cool stuff out there. So there's hot specials and lunch specials every day. It's fantastic. Is anybody here from the market? Are they here?
I eat there all the time.
All right. So, well, anyway, the Saxons River Market. Thank you. All right. I'm going to read the next one too. Jeanette Harvey, who I do know is here. Now, I know Jeanette, but I don't know her well. But her nominating sponsor writes, Jeanette has always been there for her family and friends whenever needed. She's done many things to help the community through the countless hours she puts in at the local Moose Lodge in Bellows Falls. In the past, Jeanette has also been a member of the Parks Place Board of Directors, has supported the local schools and community by going to sporting events, community activities, even after her children have been out of school for many years. Jeanette dedicates herself with a beautiful smile, tremendous energy and enthusiasm, while never asking or expecting anything in return. All of this she does even after experiencing tremendous loss in her own life. A true hometown, regular homespun hero. Thank you, Jeanette Harvey. All right. Something we're going to hear in a couple spots tonight. We've kind of heard about the fire department already, but one of the, if maybe not arguably, the hardest hit group of folks through the pandemic were people who work in the medical field. So our next nominee, Shannon, is it Nemich? Is that right? Nimick. Is that right?
Yes, and I'm her nominator.
All right. Okay. Well, do you want to talk about her or do you want me to? Are you sure? You can do it. All right. I'll read what she wrote because this again, was one of the... All right. She's Kern Hatton Homes Director of Health Services. In a typical year, she keeps us all informed about upcoming cold and flu, tick, sunburn prevention. Since 2020, she's been Kern Hatton Homes Dr. Fauci and guided both the children and the staff through the entire COVID-19 pandemic with calmness and compassion, in addition to all her other duties. Shannon comprehended all the CDC and Vermont Department of Health regulations and updates and maintained in compliance with all the state, local, and federal documents for record keeping. She shared the information with the Kern Hatton community. She kept the children, their families, the staff calm and on track to deal with all the changes and issues. She was and still is the go-to person for everyone. This was a big expansion of her role as Health Services Director. In the past, the focus was only on the children, but COVID forced Shannon to deal with everyone, including extended family members, as she dealt with the ripple effects that were felt on campus from close contacts and positive results. The goal is to keep everyone in the campus safe, and she did so with aplomb. She's gone above and beyond and is truly Kern Hatton's and the community's superhero. Thank you, Shannon. But I think we should take a pause here and a round of applause for, I don't know if there's anybody in the room who, but anybody who works in that industry. School nurses, regular nurses, doctors, aides, ambulance folks, first responders. What a crazy, crazy, crazy time it has been, and we are all grateful. So how about a round of applause for all of them. You're up, bro.
I'm going to talk about one of those folks with Golden Cross, and I don't know if Michael is here. I don't see anybody here, so we'll just go ahead and give you just a little bit of background. So Golden Cross provides our EMS services in Rockingham and Westminster and a lot of our local communities here. And one of the people that was nominated was Michael Halley, who's one of their paramedics and works with their staffing and responds. And not only did we have all sorts of crises with COVID, but unfortunately we've had a secondary crisis, which is sort of not seen as many headlines, but it's hit us just as hard, and that's with opioids and overdoses and things along those lines. And unfortunately, these people have to deal with that on a continual basis, and they've done so with compassion, they've done so with professionalism, and in many cases they've done so in situations where they're not sure it's a danger to their own life with fentanyl and all of these horrible new synthetics. So on behalf of the community, I think we should all say thank you to those folks, and especially people like Michael and Golden Cross who go out there and do that tough work and never really get a lot of credit. So on behalf of the community, I'd like to just say thank you.
our next honoree is the Westminster Animal Hospital, who managed to stay open through the entire pandemic and continue to provide the high level of care that they have for a long, long time, as long as I've been around the area, for sure. They have a fund to assist pets with emergency needs and just do their job with a level of compassion and care. Nobody goes away, and it's another kind of unsung industry. All the folks that work and take care of the animals that we all love so much. So thank you, Westminster Animal Hospital, and all the folks who work in that industry. But that's it. Picking up on a theme here, kind of hard-hit industries. Another one that had the spigot, much like the performing arts, the spigot shut off quickly and 100% to zero overnight, where it was the fitness industry. So our next honoree is the Westminster Fit Body Boot Camp. And I'll read this one because I think we owe that to whoever put this through. This past year was a very emotional and challenging time for Sarah Dumont, as well as all the coaches, losing their mentor and founder and mother. Between COVID and Lisa losing her battle with cancer, they have all continued to help the community with healthier alternatives to battling stresses and unhealthy ways of living. They are continuing Lisa's motto of, quote, living your best life. They all continue to strive to carry out Lisa's dream of making the world healthier, one person at a time. So for Lisa, in memoriam, and for everybody else at Westminster Fit Body Boot Camp, thank you and congratulations. Last page, folks, we're making it through. Our next honoree is Doug McPhee, who is not here, correct? Oh, is Doug here? No, that's Tom. Yeah. Stand down, everybody. Stand down. So, but you'll do. Get over here. If you go through the village at all in the summertime, you know Doug because he does laps around town all day, seemingly. Doug bleeds purple, and I mean, there's people that say they bleed purple. Doug literally bleeds purple. Provides countless hours at home sports, from Pee Wee football and cheerleading all the way to the high school sports teams. He uploads them to various Facebook groups, can be seen cheering and snapping in the square for the parades, not only at home games and events, but can be seen traveling to away games to not only take pictures, but support BF athletes. Everyone is always looking for Doug so they can take a seat, as we know there will be 200 plus pictures later. And that's true. Thanks, Doug, for all your efforts to coordinate being at multiple locations in the same day. And Doug was inducted into which Hall of Fame this year, Tom? The VPA or the other one? The VPA. So the Vermont Principals Association, which is the organization that runs high school sports in Vermont, Doug was nominated and inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, and could not be more well-deserved. So Doug McPhee, congratulations. Tom, do you want to accept the trophy on your brother's behalf?
I will accept this trophy. I may not give it to him.
There you are.
He's my older brother, by the way. He's 2 years younger, but most of the town thinks he's older.
He's older tonight. That's all that counts. All right. Next up is one of my favorite people. So our next honoree is Megan Applegate. Megan is the director at Parks Place. Are you missing kickboxing night for this? Oh, damn. She's also a kick.
Very much for that.
Yeah, she's also a kick-ass kickboxing instructor, and Parks Place holds a special place in my heart. I was on the board there for 8 years and 10 months, six years as the president. It's hard to believe I've been gone for 10 years already, and I'm just a name on the plaque on the wall now. But that's what happens as you age through these things. Yeah, and but Megan, again, had an organization. If you're not familiar with Parks Place, I hope you become familiar with it. It's down next to the Central School. We have a building. It's a resource center for the community that does wonderful, wonderful things. And again, had to shut down and totally reinvent themselves and how they can house and open these programs. And Megan has done that with a brilliant stroke, a wonderful board behind her. And we're just so grateful that people like you are in the community. I'll clone you too. How's that? So thank you, Megan. Congratulations. Okay. And last but not least, I don't know why you were last, Michelle. I apologize, but you were the last one on my list. But Michelle Lorando from Greater Falls Pharmacy, another business yet again that kind of you had to reinvent the wheel, right? Like almost immediately. We can't, it's tough to let people in, or you have to let them in a different way. And your nominee said that at least for the Sterling House, but I suspect it's for more than the Sterling House. Did I give away a secret there? Sorry. Goes above and beyond what a pharmacy needs to do. During COVID, she ensured we always had our supplies and vaccines and medications. Michelle is community-minded by generously supporting numerous community causes. I've known Michelle for a handful of years, and I agree with all that sentiment. A true asset to the community, and what a wonderful little business you have there. I encourage you all to head on over and check it out. So Michelle, thank you. Yeah. All right. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for.
We do have one more nominee that we'll talk about here, and this is one of these people that's quiet and reserved. And you probably don't hear a lot from him because he likes to stay in the background, and that's Bill Stevens. I just wanted to show you.
There's no notes in there. Oh.
These, so we're reading, the different nominations. So here's mine, and it's kind of a little tight. And if you guys see, here's Bill's. Fairness and equity is one of the...
Copy the whole document, change the font from 12 point to 20 point or whatever the hell I did.
But in all seriousness, Bill's a tremendous asset to our community and not a quiet leader. He's a out front, loud, banging pots and pans kind of leader, and that's great because people rally to people like Bill and do things and go beyond what they think they can because he enables everybody to follow his spirit and his energy. And I've seen it in Rotary meetings, I've seen it in community places, and I'm sure you've seen it in all sorts of other places. So I think on behalf of the entire community, it's really an honor to present a superhero award to Bill Stevens.
Very kind, thank you.
It's not bigger than the others.
That's quite all right. It will be when I'm done.
And have a pedestal, or a bigger pedestal.
Yes. All right, so auction is open until
7:30. What time is it now? 7:30.
7:12 I have, so 7:30?
Go get against your friends and neighbors.
All right. Yeah. How about a nice round of applause for our bartender, Gloria? All right. Raise your hand if you made food for tonight. Raise your hand if you made food. I don't care your role. If you made food, raise your hand. High. Raise it high. High. Raise it high. All right. What a wonderful spread. All right. Thank you all for coming. Auction's open until 7:30. Do we have?
Charlie wants to say a quick word, I think.
Oh, I thought he tapped out. Nope. You let me run the show after you give me the microphone, all right? Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks to all our honorees, and thank you to the Chamber for a wonderful spread and event, and this has been lovely. So, all right.